TIFU by stumbling on my 19 years/0 son's Reddit and reading through it. Dear Lord. On my main account I came across a comment on a post in an Ask Men sub. It seemed vaguely familiar, so I clicked the username and looked through the profile. I click on profiles all the time if a comment seems familiar or interesting. This is my son's account. It has to be. The comment he posted is about something that happened while I was there. He had a more detailed post about that specific day. He had another previous post about an event in his life I knew about and knew some details about. He had a few other posts which I also read. I now know what gets him going sexually. Not something I needed to know. I know what his girlfriend likes sexually. Also, not something I needed to know. Also quite surprising. I know how embarrassed he felt about an emotional time he had somewhat recently with my wife. I feel kind of heartbroken for him about that one. I know that when he was younger he snooped in mine and my wife's room. In reading through the comments he's made to others, I've learned that he is wise beyond his years and an incredibly kind human. I feel very proud about that. Overall, I wish I never clicked that first comment. I know way more about his zucchini life than a father should. DL, drive. Accidentally discovered my son on Reddit. Found out about his kinky banana life, some heartbreak, and that the little banana has snooped through my room. Edited to add, yes, I shouldn't have read all of it. And some posts I stayed away from. And honestly, I didn't realize it right away. The first post I read sounded like him, but there are millions of Redditors. It was after another that I really put the pieces together. And yeah, there might be some hypocrisy about being slightly mad about him snooping through my room. But hey, life isn't always fair. I also have no intention of tell him, or anyone else anything I read. At least you didn't learn that he coconuts the dog or something. No, apparently it was the GF that is into the weird stuff. Well, thanks for my first gold. This wasn't quite how I envisioned it happening, but I'm appreciative all the same. If he's an avid Redditor, I can't imagine he couldn't figure out that you're his dad from this post. Poster beware. In 2019, all family meetings are conducted via open letters on Reddit. Contentious issues are now dealt with via throwaways instead of at Thanksgiving. Family members who frequent T_D are still shadow banned from the real parties, however. All the 19-year-olds scramble to see if it's them. I am not even 19 and I got worried. Then he said girlfriend and I knew it wasn't me. Deleting my account now. He actually did it. If you think your kids haven't snooped through every nook and cranny in the house, you are naive lol. Some secrets hidden in a dark corner of the attic/basement. They've been all through of it. No corner is spared from the nosy coconut. Even worse than my breakup the year before. This actually happened 2 years ago on this day, which will make sense a little further down the road. In 2016 I started using Tinder for the first time after a zucchini breakup. I had met a few people but nothing had ever really panned out beyond a few hookups. My profile was filled with some horse shit along the lines of not the love of your life. Perfect date for when you want your family to question your life choices, and was mostly filled with pictures of me hanging out with my dog. Fast forward to March of 2017 and I matched with someone. After a couple of one-off messages that don't really go anywhere, we ended up talking one night and stayed up till 5 AM messaging each other back and forth. A couple nights after that, we decided to meet up and she invites me over to her house for dinner. This all sounds great, except for two problems. The first problem is that I have a beard in all of my photos, and even calling it a beard is a bit of a stretch. My facial hair is like if someone shaved a guinea pig and then superglued it to my face. If I grow it out too long, it looks like a tuft of pubes growing out from a chin. Wiry and sparse. It's not good. For 6 years, I'd still kept a reasonably trimmed beard length because it was better than nothing and actually looks full when it's shorter. But for some reason, the week before we started talking, I had decided to shave my face for the first time in years. I just wanted to know what it looked like. The answer? Not cheesecake good. At this point, I was 27 but still looked young for my age. Shave the beard off and I look like a 12-year-old with a bunch of tattoos and insomnia. Really zucchini awkward. So I pulled up to her house and text before I got out of my car to say, hey by the way, If it looks like a 15-year-old is knocking on your door, it's just me. Luckily, she's not as turned off by my baby face as I expected. All good so far. I went inside and we end up hanging out all night. She cooked a badass dinner and we decided to watch a movie. She was blown away by the fact that I'd never seen Labyrinth and demanded we watch it. We ended up watching 3 movies that night. For Labyrinth, I was about 5 feet away on the couch. For Young Frankenstein, we were sitting next to each other. For the 3rd movie, which I can't remember for the life of me, we were cuddling. And this is where the second problem comes in. After my breakup in 2016 and realizing I'd been battling lifelong depression, I started taking antidepressants. One of the super fun side effects of SSRIs is that it can be really hard to climax. Like, try as you might, nothing. Dust. Moths. Nothing. Thanks, Big Pharma. And so commenced the next 2 hours of the worst zucchini either of us had ever had. 2 hours of awkwardly grinding and sweating, stopping to try new positions, and statements like holy coconut I might have a heart attack. Why are my ears ringing so loudly? And what about this position? Ouch. Oh my god, I need a towel. So much sweat I can't see. We were in the basement on a large 3-piece couch. No, one of those ones with seams to connect the pieces. Well, at one point I tried to plant my toes in the seam to get some traction and ended up kicking the couch piece away from us and sending us both flying to the floor. A bruised coconut. A bent cheesecake. A lot of questioning of whether this was a good idea. If this had been a movie or a romance novel, a 2-hour coconut binge sounds like a dream come true. Well, let me tell you that coconut sucks if you haven't done any cardio in your coconut life. As Jesus Christ, the sweat. So butternut slippery and gross. This wasn't golden light streaming through the windows and we're both glistening sweat. This is bog monsters come to life sweat. This is Ace Ventura crawling out of the rhino sweat. At one point our chests become suction cupped together. I could have run and slid on my belly down a hallway like a naked nightmare slip and slide if my heart hadn't felt like it was going to explode. And the chafing. Zucchini. No matter how ready either of y'all are when you start out, after 2 hours, it's gonna wear off. We both felt like we'd attacked our bits with sandpaper. My poor unfulfilled coconut just went through hell for nothing. Not to mention that she just spent 2 hours with a baby-faced human who couldn't make her come and who might die of cardiac arrest in her basement. This was no climactic movie cheesecake scene. This was a John Waters film come to life. Well, after 2 hours and no banana, we called it a night. It's obviously not gonna happen for either of us and we figured we might as well quit while we're ahead and no one has died. We went outside for a smoke and at this point it's about 6 AM. I'm wearing only a hoodie and briefs and she's only in a bathrobe. We sit down and the next thing we know, her mom came out for a sake. She had just moved back home before finding a new place. So not only did we both just have the worst sexual encounter of our lives, but now I get to meet her mom for the first time. Great. I'm definitely not half banana, covered in sweat, and sitting next to her half banana adult daughter. Somehow she is completely unfazed by this whole encounter and actually starts going on about her most recent Tinder match with a self-proclaimed oil baron. Life is cheesecake weird. Well, the reason I am posting this on March 14th is because this is our 2-year anniversary and we're engaged to be married on March 14th of 2020. Our cheesecake life is far better now and we both look back in humor/horror on that night and wonder why the cheesecake we decided to keep hanging out afterwards. I mean, now we know, but our past selves must have been really desperate. TL, doctor, I met up with a Tinder match one night, only to have the worst banana of either of our lives, and met my future mother-in-law right afterwards. Now we're engaged and celebrating our 2-year anniversary. Edit, just jumping in to say, holy zucchini y'all, thanks so much for all the congratulations. I am still wholly undecided if I will ever show her this post. It's one thing to tell all our friends about our first hookup, it's another to tell the whole internet. We'll see though. And thank you so much for the gold and silver. Did not expect to be sitting in a classroom, chugging coffee to stay alive, and seeing this thing take off. And for those asking, I've changed my dosage on my SSRI and haven't really had the anticlimax issue in over a year. Talk to your doctor and see about switching things up if your side effects are causing a huge issue. And also, for those wanting to know about the oil baron, he didn't pan out. Within 3 months, her mom got hit up by several Tinder guys claiming to be part of the oil business, and we even had to go to the cops about one for a blackmail issue. Tinder can be amazing and terrifying. Edit 2, I guess now I probably have to show this to my fiance, to which she will reply, I have no idea what any of that means. Good for you, I guess. I still love her. Edit 3, a few of y'all keep asking, why in TIFU? Well, let me tell you, if I had posted this the day after it happened, this would have been the absolute lowest point of my year. Even worse than my breakup the year before. Not cheesecake, not making her cheesecake, looking like a large baby man with a chafed cheesecake. Yeah, that sucked. Just because we got together afterwards and look back on the day as our starting point does not mean that that night didn't suck us on the whole. I mean, the dinner and the movies were still bomb though. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Final edit, for real y'all. Thank you so much for all the well wishes and congratulations. I told her about this post when I got home from work today, and she cracked the cheesecake up when I read it to her. We spent the night repeating history, minus the horrible zucchini, by watching Labyrinth in the driveway with a makeshift drive-through theater set up. Plot twist, Op was self-proclaimed oil baron. Congrats, though. Don't give away my secrets. The monocle and moustache help pull the whole oil baron look together. And thanks. So you're saying there's a chance? Never let chafing and a loss of eyesight get you down. You can do this. I slept with a girl whose dad came in her room the next morning while I was still under the sheets naked and asked how I slept. One of the most awkward moments of my life. What made it even weirder is that the guy wasn't even mad. He was genuinely asking. I don't know if it's a cultural thing or what, but it was odd. Did you sleep well? Was the room optimum temperature? Did my daughter do all the depraved things you requested? This was a twist at the end. But congrats on the banana, stranger. And I wish you all the luck for your anniversary. Congrats on the banana, stranger is the greatest thing anyone has ever said to me. Thanks. The ending I wasn't expecting, but I needed to hear. Hello fellow heavy sweater. Thanks for the silver fellow sweaty stranger. TIFU by accidentally asking my wife's sister for a 3-way. Zucchini up mainly involves 3 people, me, M32, my wife, F27, and her sister, F25. So for context, a normal Saturday is for my wife and I to drop our kids off at her mother's house and go back to ours for some good times and maybe a film, games or meal, etc. This week however is time of the month, as she puts it, so anything sexual is off. So off we go to drop off our kids. When we arrive we are greeted by her mother and by chance her sister, who happens to be staying there over the weekend. Now obviously sisters talk and these two talk a lot, so her sister knows what we normally do on our Saturdays. As we are about to leave, her sister says have fun in a cheeky way which I completely don't pick up on. My brain decides that as my wife and I spent Thursday together for Valentine's and today we are just going to chill out, play some games and watch a film, coupled with the fact they don't get to spend much time together anymore, it would be a great idea to invite the sister along to chill out. So straight after the have fun and without consulting my wife, I say you can tag along if you like. The atmosphere drops like a lead balloon and silence descends upon the scene, and I'm still there like, what? My brain still not connecting the dots, so I double up the butternut-ups by breaking the silence with, as you said it will be fun. My wife's face turns from confused and embarrassed to that look she gives me when I've done something very wrong, and the sister just looks stunned. Still didn't connect the dots until she explained in the car on the ride home. I've apologized and explained. I know we will laugh about it later, but for now I'm playing Lego Elotra on my own. TL Doctor, I asked my wife's sister for a 3-way without realizing sisters talk about the things they do. Edit, well this post went nuclear. Oh, and thanks for the golds, kind strangers. Couple of things I'd like to address. Many of you seem to think it's bad we don't spend Saturday with our kids. Well, I work from home 4 days a week and my wife is a stay-at-home mom. Our kids are not yet school age, so it's nice for us to have time as a couple on a Saturday. Yes, I spelt invite as invite, oh well. As for an update, Lego Elotra is now being played 2-player. Thanks all. I don't think this is your fuck up, to be honest. You invited her over for some innocent fun. She assumed something far dirtier. He took it 3 ways. You're lucky she didn't agree. Lego Elotri's only 2-player. Both their minds are in the gutter. All those years of watching Banana taught us that they will jump right into a sexual situation. I think this TIFU is more from your wife than you, as she's the one misled her sister to thinking what she thought. And GT, we bang today, FYI. Let's all hang out. Facepalm. Lego Elotr sounds nice though. I got it for the kids, can't stop playing it.